Hey guys, welcome to Unit 4B Lesson 2. Today we are going to do our introduction to logarithms. So this is going to be building on Lesson 1 from Unit 4B, where we were trying to solve unknown exponents. So this is a little bit easier way of solving unknown exponents. And today we're only going to be talking about logarithms with base 10. So you'll notice here all of our examples with unknown exponents are the number 10 with some unknown exponent on them. So we're going to focus on that for today. So to help you guys understand logarithms, we're going to use this concept of what power. So here we're looking at, let's look at problem A, and we have 10 to the w equals 1,000. So one other way to say that is, what power of 10 is 1,000, right? And then if I'm going to write that in the quote-unquote what power function notation, you see in that second box there we have what power base 10 of 1,000 in parentheses equals w. And we're going to fill that in for problems B and C as well. So for B, we have what power of 10 is 9. So I'm writing what power of 9, I'm going to add that base 10 there as well, equals y. And for the next one, what power of 10 is 90, so I'm writing what power, base 10 here, and then the 90 goes in the parentheses, equals z. And now we're ready to write these functions using a logarithm function. So in this case, we're really just going to replace where it says what power with the word log, right, which is short for logarithm. So for our first example, we have log base 10 of 1,000. Now log base 10 is sort of our basic logarithm, so you can just write log of 1,000 here and it means the same thing. So I want to note when we move on and we're no longer using only base 10, you'll have to write the specific base, but if you're using log base 10, you can just write log, okay? But make sure you remember that's only for the number 10. And just continuing down, we're replacing what power with log. Remember, we don't need to write base 10 because we're working with the generic log. And we're just going to put 9 and 90 in these respective problems. And now we're going to find the final answers. So problem A is sort of the easy problem to help you guys understand what we're doing here. We know that 10 to the power of 3 equals 1,000. We know that if you multiply 10 by 10 by 10, that you're going to get 1,000, right? That's something you should be able to figure out sort of mentally, if not with a little work on paper. So putting together all of our work here, we can say that log base 10 of 1,000 is 3, because you have to multiply 10 by itself 3 times in order to get 1,000. So we get w equals 3. Now we're going to move along to the trickier problems. So we don't necessarily know what power of 10 is 9, right? So we're going to need to use logarithms here. And the way we're going to do that is, you see I'm circling 9 at the bottom left corner right here. I'm using that x value of 9 to find the answer using the chart, and I get 0.95. And then I'm going to do the same for the next problem, which is 90. So I circle 90 down here at the bottom as well, and I get z equals 1.95. And that one of the ways you can use logarithms if you don't have a calculator is if you're given a chart like this, and this chart is specifically for logarithms base 10. Another way is to use the log button on your calculator. And we're going to explore that button more in this next section. So in example 2, you'll see we have a similar looking problem, and we're going to solve using the same steps, but we're actually going to use a calculator to find our final answer instead. Alright, so we have 10 to the power of x equals 20. So using our first steps from the same method we were using before, we're going to write out what power of 10 is 20. And next we're going to write what power with base 10 of 20 is equal to x. This is our equation. And then replacing what power with log. Log base 10, 20 equals x. Simplifying even further, we know that log base 10 is the same thing as saying log with 20 equals x. And to plug this into like an iPhone calculator, you'll just type in 20, and then there's a button for log base 10, if you see it right there, and there's our answer. So we got x equals 1.3010. I'm going to box that up. Now this box says, what is a logarithm? And this is basically a shortcut. So we were working through all those what power steps, but in the future you don't need to go through all of those steps. Instead, you can plug in the a, b, and c values to their corresponding spots on the logarithmic equation, and you will get your answer. And let's do that with our problem here. We have 10 to the power of x equals 20, and then we can see we write log, and then base b, which is 10 here, and then 20 is in parentheses, that's our a value, equals x, which is our c value. And we're going to check our answer using this table, just to show you guys that you'll get the same answer using the table or a calculator. We had 10 to the power of x equals 20. Simplify that to log of 20 equals x. And we plug that into the calculator. We got x equals 1.3010. And we're just going to double check that on the table. So we want to find 20, which is right here. And look at, that is the same answer. It is 1.3010. So we can safely say that that answer is correct.